And I want to start with a few questions, and one being, how many of you are completely organized in all areas of your life by a show of hands? And how many of you are completely disorganized? And how many of you are somewhere in between? All right. So keeping your hands up, how many of you would like to get to that first place where you actually are organized? All right. Thank you. So imagine what it would feel like to actually have less overwhelm in your life and actually be organized in that place of your life. So you could actually have a sense of being less overwhelmed, have less stress in your life, have more flow in your life. Actually be able to get your hands on something that you've been looking for. We've all had that experience where you just saw it at that one place, but when you were running out the door, of course, you're running late, and the day already feels filled with a lot of things, and you can't find that one thing you need for your presentation or kids' paperwork for school, and you just can't remember exactly where it was, or it wasn't where you last put it. And so part of what we're going to talk about today is how can you reduce that overwhelm in your life, have more management over your time, and have a sense of more wellness in your life as well. We are all so busy in all the things that we do. There's a lot of very simple structures and strategies that we can do to make it easier for us. And let me get going on this. Let's see. All right. How many can relate to this right here? Being Wonder Woman. I wonder where this is. Wonder where that is. So, all right. So we're going to help take the wonder out of that and have you be a Wonder Woman in another way. And I'm passionate about these skills and about organization because they have really changed my life. And I didn't always grow up wanting to be a professional organizer as a career. In fact, I was a San Diego police officer for 10 years. And thank you. And I loved my work and what I did. And shortly after I started my career, I went and I was coming home one day, and my husband had told me that he was leaving me, and I was going to be left taking care of my 2 children on my own. So needless to say, I was stressed, and I felt a sense of overwhelm of how was I going to balance my family life and my career. And if I didn't have the organizational skills and structure in place, I think I would have actually lost my mind. And so it really played an important part for me in being able to have a sense of control back in my life. So when, also on the department, when I was in a training accident, and in that training accident, I was faced with the possibility of being an amputee and paralysis. And I actually had shattered my right hand, which was my gun hand, and all the bones in this hand were broken. And this hand was actually, when I had the accident, was facing back towards my elbow. And when I was taken to the emergency room, they told me that they had to immediately snap my hand back or to get blood flow, or I would lose the hand. And so all I remember at that moment was when they snapped it back that I had passed out. And I woke up after 7 hours of surgery and had an external fixator on my hand, which was 6 rods coming out of my hand, and I had that on for 6 months and had to see about being able to what was going to happen next. Some of the things that Trish was talking about earlier today about what happens when those changes happen in your life and what's next. And it took me 6 months after the fixator came off to relearn how to use the hand. And also, in the meantime, to learn how to use my left hand more. Because it's interesting when we get into the habits of this is how things are done, that you learn to do things in a much different way. So when I had recovered, and thank God with the therapy, I have very good use of this hand, and I can do a lot of things with them. However, I did need to retire from the department because if I broke it again, I had a high chance of paralysis in the hand. So obviously I wouldn't be able to continue my police work. So I had always had organizing as a hobby, and things I did for family and friends. And I actually did have a head start because I have my master's degree in human resources with a specialty of systems and designs. So I was a little bit ahead of the game there. And I've happily been helping people get organized for over 20 years. So that is something that it seems to be the theme that we're all kind of talking about today is you think your path is going to be one way, and it shifts up and you look at it a different way. And so one of the things that I like to share with people is how is it that we can utilize the systems and structures in place so that we can have more flow in our life and have some things that will help us. So let's see, let's jump in. So today's strategies that we're going to look at here is feeling overwhelmed in life, management of time, and also looking at health and wellness. So I'm here to provide you with a little bit of sanity, a little bit of calm, and how to add some more rejuvenation into our life. But you can't get there unless you have control over your life and you actually can overcome the clutter piles and the things of the systems and things that we want to have in our life. So as women, we have more demands placed on us now than ever before in history. We're supposed to know more and do more and be more. And all the research shows that we don't tend to ask so much for help. But we know, and we know in our heart, that we can't know everything. And when we reach out for a little bit of help, then we get the systems and people to help us in our life to have more flow. And that's what I'm here to help you with, is to have those systems and know what that is to help you. And the good news is that I help people every day in getting these systems in place. And even though 45 minutes isn't a lot of time to get together, I am going to go over the 3 top areas that have the most disarray and that my clients say that they need the most support. And this is an area that has transformed my life as well. So I will teach you as much as I can in the limited time we have together. And I will also show you other trainings and systems beyond our time that can help and support you. So for now, we are going to jump in to the first area that people feel the most need for support is a feeling of overwhelm in life. And you want to think about that time where you can't find those keys and you are running late and you can't find what you're looking for, and that brings in the frustration. And so you look at what are the action steps that you can take, not just in that moment, but any time that you're feeling that sense of overwhelm. So the first area I say is to clear your closet. And the reason of that is that your closet, where your clothes are in, is actually the first area that you potentially feel stress in the morning. And a lot of people they'll walk in their closet, and first of all, most people only wear about 20% of their closet. They only wear the things that fit, the things that are comfortable, and the things that they are just drawn to. It's kind of like their top 10 of their clothes because it's the easy way to go. When you step in your closet, you can have the sense of trying clothes on and off again. You can't find the thing that goes with that one skirt. And you really feel that sense of overwhelm when you have your closet set up specifically with what works for you. You can get in and feel good about the morning, that everything fits, it all goes together, and that you can actually find it. Most women set up their closet like a department store with small, medium, and large. And so that doesn't really serve you. And so what I have people do is to take everything out of your closet. And even though that in itself may seem overwhelming in the moment, you've probably not seen your closet completely empty since you moved in. And you'd be amazed what it looks like when you actually take everything out. And so it's actually a great process whether you do that with me or I say that you do it with a girlfriend or somebody so that they can have the support, because there's something about you seeing it and someone else giving you another perspective on it as well. But when you take everything out of the closet, you can see that a lot of people have not just clothes in their closet. They have things that maybe belong in the garage, maybe they belong to other family members, maybe they're half projects that you haven't really completed. there's always something in there that I've been looking for that. And so it's just interesting as an area that is easy to start with to really look at what are the things that I feel good about. And the number one reason why people don't wear certain things in their closet is because it's uncomfortable. It doesn't matter how cute it is or how much money you spent on it. If it's not comfortable, we don't want to wear it. You know, we all have, even from shoes, it's like we all have those 5-minute shoes and then those ones that hopefully last us all day. So you really got to look at what's the purpose of the things that you have in your closet. Because even if you did spend a lot of money on something, if it's just hanging in your closet, it's taking up precious real estate that's not doing you any good. And so if you really look at what are the things that make you feel your best, and because when you walk out and you feel your best, that's what you're showing to the world. They see, do you feel comfortable in what you're wearing? Are they colors that inspire you? Is it something that you feel really great about? It's the first place that you're actually able to walk out in, and you know, people make impressions on people all the time, and when they see you, they can see, like, you know, does that represent you? Do you feel comfortable in what you're doing? I mean, we've seen when people are like, you know, doing, you know, certain things with their clothes, and it's just like, it may look cute at first, but if it's like not fitting them well, you can kind of see the discomfort that they're feeling in. And it's not even about the size, it's about how they feel in the clothes. And we all know as women, when you go to a department store, a size 2 in one store could be a size 12 in another store. So the numbers they have set up for women in clothes are just wild, because it is just that number. I mean, really get into the habit of trying something on that makes you feel good, and start in your closet and look at it as a shopping, you know, experience where you can go in there and go, you know what, I haven't worn this in a while, but I really felt good in it, and I stopped wearing it because I didn't have a top to go with it. Go take it with you. Get something so it's a complete outfit so you can get the best use of what you have in your closet. And then only put back in your closet those set of outfits. And if it's only 3, 5, or 10, you know that they're perfect for you. They work for you, and you can go in and not have that stress each morning. So that can just take out a sense of overwhelm and stress right in the morning. So in fact, one of my clients, Jeannie, she would, when I first started working in her closet, she had a beautiful walk-in closet, but you couldn't even walk all the way in the closet because she had like all these bags and all these different things, and she had actually even clothes of her kids she didn't even know were in her closet. It was like they couldn't find it in her closet either. So when we took everything out, we were able to say, okay, what are we keeping? What are we getting rid of? And you know, she loves her closet now because she can go in, know it's all hers, they all fit her. And you know, sometimes we have, you know, we in our life have certain things are too small or too big, and we're in different stages. Just if you really love it and you want to, if you're actively either losing or gaining weight and you want to keep it for a certain time, keep it in a box somewhere else. Don't have it like staring at you every day going, you might wear me someday. It's just one of those, like, if it's inspiring to you, maybe have 1 or 2 in there. But you want to make sure that when you walk in, that you really love everything that is in there. So the second one is creating, action step is creating systems of habits. And that is where you put things in the same spot all the time. Your keys should be in the same spot every time. Your purse should be in the same spot. How many of you in some time in your life have been like, where's my keys? And you know you're already running 5 minutes late. And it's like you don't know where that's at. So find out the area where it's like where you're going out to your car, either in a hallway, you know, maybe have a system where you have like, you know, some hooks for everybody's keys, you know, anything, and especially anything that you're taking with you, like the next day, you know you have something, review that in your head the next, you know, the night before and go, okay, I'm gonna need my keys, I need my purse, I need, you know, that bag that has my work papers in it. That should all be in the same spot every single time. So you're not running in like 3 different locations trying to gather everything up to take with you. If it's always in the same spot, you will always look in that spot, and you will be able to find it, and you can stay in the flow of your day. So create those habits of having things in the same spot all the time. And the final one for this area is 3 deep breaths. We do not want to underestimate that. In fact, let's just do that right now. We've had a lot, you know, running around here today, you know, just take in the whole day and let it out. Do another one. Let it out. Last one. Let it out. And we forget how that feels to just get that extra oxygen into our brain. It just immediately to our body just relaxes us a little bit more. We kind of settle back into our body, and we just feel better. And just giving you that can just get you through those moments of that overwhelm. So we definitely want to do that. I also have a 15-minute of clearing your whole home system that we talk about, and we'll talk a little bit about more of that later. I want to keep going on here to our system. So wanted to look here about being aware of how your space affects your mood. So if you're noticing that there are a lot of piles in different places of your home, we may not look at it because we're rushing to the next thing, but energetically, when you walk past that pile, there's a part of you that just thinks about, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to it at some point, maybe later, and we keep thinking there's going to be some more time to do that later. The 15 minutes can really make a huge impact because a lot of times we think, oh, that's going to take me an hour or 2 hours, so I don't want to take the time to do it. It's actually a fun exercise that you can even do with kids or other people in the house. And I used to do this with my girls when they were young, where I would set a timer. You can also do it on your phone for just 15 minutes a day. And it would be like, okay, go. You'd run, go put your shoes away. You'd go, put your jacket away. You'd put your papers away. You'd clear your desk. You'd finish the dishes that you were doing. You would start getting things where I like it almost as the like the cat in the hat. Before mom gets home, where you're just kind of running through the house and getting everything where it needs to go. And just that short amount of time just makes you enjoy your space a little bit more because you dedicated some time to it, you cleared it out, and you gave yourself that intention. So it's an amazing, just a little bit of time and effort that you look at it as you're investing in yourself. If you know that you have let certain things just sit for years and years, you want to actually create that time to clear it because your space, it affects you. And so when you look at what's in your space, are they things that actually are inspiring you? A lot of times we actually will receive gifts from people and we'll hang on to them because of that's who we got it from, but you don't really like it, And so I tell people that the gift actually got its impact when they gave it to you and you looked at them or you sent a note and you said thank you. And that agreement is done at that point. What you do with it after that is up to you. Because if you have it in the closet or you hang it somewhere and you walk past it and you hate it every time, you're not creating an environment of what you love. And so you can actually, re-gift that to someone else who would love it. And it means something to them and it creates something for their space and their environment. And I work with a lot of clients who have someone pass in their family and then they've inherited a lot of their property. And so there's a sense of, well, this was my grandma's spoon, so I really need to keep that spoon. And so what I share with people is when we're going through a lot of their things is to look at, of all the things that your grandmother had, what if it wasn't hers, would you still love it? And so there's usually something where you're like, I really loved grandma's teacup, or I really loved her brooch, or there was something about her, so when you wear it, it not only reminds you of her, but you love it too. If that one spoon or that one table or something doesn't mean anything to you, again, pass it on either to another family member or to someone else who can actually enjoy it. Because we talk about that something that is not meaningful to us can be a treasure to someone else. So just because we have it in our space, because someday I might use it or I should like it because it was grandma's or those type of things, we really want to pass those on to people who will love it. And so really take a nice exercise is to walk around your home and see what do you really love about your home. There's something in there. And we have rooms that we really love too. There are certain rooms you love being in there. Ironically, a lot of people do not like being in their office. It's one room that they avoid, and usually it's because there's a lot of clutter in there. So look at the rooms that you really love and determine what you love about it and create that feeling and that space in all of the rooms of your home. Like have that be where it is supposed to be your sanctuary. So you really want to look at how your home is and how you're relating to your home and what you love about it. Well, keep going here. So the second area that people are always looking for some support in is the mismanagement of their time. And we have this concept of, there's not enough time, or how am I going to do that? And I mean, how many of you have felt like you have way too much to do in a 24-hour period? And we tend to overbook, and there's things on top of each other. And there's just a lot of built-in stress in that, just because we've scheduled so tightly on the things. I mean, I'm sure even today there's like 4 other speakers. It's like we have to make these decisions. How can I be at all of them? And I want to hear them all. And I appreciate you all being here. However, we can't be everywhere, and we do have to make choices in our time and what supports us the best in what we're doing. And the first action step that you can do to bring more calm into your time is to get everything on calendar and to put it on there in the order of your priorities. And may I recommend that priority is happiness first, then health, and then wealth. And so, because our calendars fill up with all kinds of things. I mean, we're going to get those work appointments on there and getting kids to soccer and all of the have-tos on there. But really look at your calendar as a tool to support what you want to do in your life. It's the roadmap of how you're spending your time. And so if you look at your calendar in terms of what makes you happy. I mean, we live really close to the beach, and maybe one of your happy things that you love to do is taking a walk on the beach. And maybe in this moment, perhaps you can't remember the last time you walked on the beach because of the busyness of life. I tell people, put on your calendar when you're walking on the beach next. Put it on there. There's something about it being in your calendar that it's sacred and that you're going to do it. And we tend to actually get those things off because of a more important thing that's coming up. What's more important than your happiness in your life? Because why are we doing all the running around and all the scheduling and the things that we're doing if we're not enjoying the happy moments in our life? What are we doing it for? I mean, that's why we live here in this beautiful place, so that we can enjoy those things. So get those happy things on there. And I love to have people put on their vacations. Like, I can't afford a vacation. Well, create a staycation here. Decide for yourself or your family when your next family vacation is going to be. Whether it's going to be the end of this month, it could be a day. And here you are saying, we're going to all go out to Coronado, we're going to have a picnic, we're going to go on something that we're going to do. You can do it in a very affordable way, but there's something about it being on calendar to have something to look forward to. It's like, I can work this big project and I can work these long hours if I know in 2 more weeks is that vacation. It's like something really fun. And a lot of times we think, well, we have to get on a plane to go somewhere, or we have to go somewhere else. You can create those vacations here. In fact, don't even tell anyone that you're going to be here for it. Just, I'm leaving, I'm going somewhere. And then you've got that time to create it however you want to do it. And the second one here is I talked about the happiness, but also get health on there. Because I look at health appointments or anything where you're moving your body, going for a walk and getting out in nature and getting out there and spending time where you're moving your body. And if you put it on there going, I'm going to the gym or I'm doing exercises, you tend to maybe bump that off. So really think of it in terms of as a kid where it's like, what was fun? Maybe you're going to get into a dance class or go take some sort of class that you like to do. But the walks, I like to encourage people, I put on my calendar as walk and talks. Because friends of mine that I haven't seen for a while will meet at a local lake and go walk around, or a park. And so you're catching up with them instead of being on the cell phone all the time. And I do this with colleagues too. I do a lot of business appointments walking out in nature. I'll have them meet me somewhere and we'll talk about what they want to do, what's the next step, what do we want to organize, what needs to happen next, and we'll do that out. And so we're utilizing the most of our time doing both. So we're actually doing some work and we're getting out in nature. So look at some ways outside of the box where you can take care of your health so that you are able to do all the other things that you want to do. And then the wealth component are the things that you're getting on calendar that are either building your business or building your estate, or however that you're doing that there, you're making money. And so you're getting those things on calendar as well. So you look at your calendar as your own personal roadmap that supports you and how you want to live your life. So, and then the last one here in around time is reviewing your schedule the night before. It's always good to look at what do you have on calendar. Have you given yourself enough gap time to get to where you're going? What do you need to have? Those things by the door that you need to take with you to your appointments, and to be better prepared. You will sleep better at night knowing What time do you need to get up in the morning? Where's the first place? You're going to go to bed differently and wake up differently, knowing if you have to be somewhere at 7 a.m. versus 9 a.m. And so having that preparation of knowing what time you need to get up to prepare for your day. And sometimes our days are fairly regular where we have a set time that we get up and do things. However, you do have those other appointments that are adjustable. And so knowing what you need to have with you and sleeping better at night, knowing that you are prepared for that can be very helpful. So the last, I was talking about who wants a free gift. So for those of you that have a cell phone that has the reader code reader, right here has on my website is I'm offering my free ebook on the 10 tips of clearing the confusion of clutter. So if you have your e-reader, you can grab that from here, or you can go to my website, dianehalfman.com, and you can get that there. But I wanted to make sure that I got that into your hands because there's a lot of tips on there where if you have a sense of feeling overwhelmed, there's some right now strategies that you can use. And I'd love to hear on my website ones that work great for you. So the last action or area that we're looking at here is the lack of health and wellness. And I hear over and over again from family and friends that as soon as the kids get out of school, as soon as I retire, as soon as I get that raise, then I'm going to do this. So one of the things is you may have heard of this book, 20 Good Summers. And I love the concept of it because what it talks about, he's specifically talking about 20 summers. You have like 20 good summers after you turn 50. So like from 50 to 70. And what he's saying is if you look at that, it's in terms of being in the best health, And I look at expanding, if you've got, 40, 50 years, if you look at it in terms of all the things that you want to do, how are you living your life so that you can do those things? So, for instance, I always wanted to go to Italy. Like it was just on my list for like 10 years and finally went this last summer. And I was so happy that I was in good health when I was there because we walked like 3,000 steps a day. And so some of your goals that you have may be very physical, where you're climbing, a mountain. I mean, watching Trish and her biking, it was making me exhausted. It's like to have the energy to do some of the things that you have as goals, you want to get those things on calendar sooner than later because it's, even though you can and even though you're in great health to do these things, the older we get, we may not be able to do some of those things. And we never know from a health perspective what things are going to be affected. So I always tell people, look at what you can do earlier on in your life. I had a client of mine, Matt, who had, at the time when I was working with him, he had had a sailboat for 2 years. And he had only been on the sailboat like a handful of times. And his was like as soon as the kids got out of school. And he had all these as soon as. And he was working 7 days a week. And so one of the things, I had him change his perspective of saying that every Friday you're retired. You're going to wake up as if you're retired. You're not going to take any appointments. And you are going to go out on your sailboat every Friday. And so he started doing that. He started doing every Friday. His family was on board with it. And what happened was not only did he get to rejuvenate himself, when he was on his sailboat, he had the best business ideas. So when he got back to work, he actually was more productive and was working less and enjoying his life. So when we look at, when we start saying things like as soon as, you have to have the follow-up question of as soon as in when. When is that going to happen? Because if it is just this foggy date out there, we're not doing the steps that are really, making us feel like a sense of wellness in our life. And so we really want to look at how we are incorporating those things. So going back to the things we can do as far as our health is creating the mini meals in your home is really huge because we're really busy and you want to like at least once a week, if not twice, go to the grocery store, get what you need to get, wash it, cut it, and put it into serving sizes all at once. Because that way you can just grab them out of your refrigerator, take them to go, and then you have it. I always keep like mini meals, mini snacks in my car because when you're running around places, it saves you time and money and energy to know that you've got something healthy because that's what's going to fuel us. And so just having a little bit of preparation there and being organized around food can satisfy you. And any food that we actually make and prepare, even if we're just getting carrots and cutting it, is just going to feel better because we prepared it with our own love. And so that's something that you can just do for yourself. And then we talked about having a, the walk and talks where you're actually getting out in nature. The more where you can be outside to just kind of inspire your soul will just do a million things for your health. And then you never want to underestimate having water and sleep. And even though we think we can live on 3 to 4 hours of sleep, you can really notice whether or not you're showing up as your best self when you really had a good night's sleep and you've hydrated yourself. Because nothing's going to give you more energy than having enough water and hydration in your body. So as I mentioned, I knew that we weren't going to have a lot of time to go through all of the strategies and things that I had to offer. However, there's a lot more to learn in order to have like your home and business and life and all the different areas to be in flow. And I wanted to have here a review of all the different steps that we have so you can have these take home. So for those of you who go home and can implement these right away is really great. Some of you are hands-on learners and need to have some extra support. So I have like some handouts here as well so that it has the recap of the 5 steps of my system that I talked about. I have a 5-step system to have an organized life, and some of these here will be on your handout here. And so I'm going to just quickly go through the 5 steps, and the benefit of step 1 is up here, but step 1 is to have clarity in your closet. And that's kind of, I talked a lot about, just taking the things out of the closet and being able to do that. In my training, I help you learn what to keep and what to toss, how to have your personal style and have only the things that you love in here. And you'll see some of this when he passes it out, so you have it on hand. These are the benefits of step 2, and this is having clarity around your papers. A lot of people have stacks and stacks of papers, and so I teach people in the class to not have the to-do boxes or the stacks of papers and to start creating an action box. And an action box or having hanging files of actually what you were doing with that paper so you don't have to continually go through those over and over again. So in my training class, like I said, we don't have a lot of time here. I'm trying to get you guys as much material to help you do as much of it on your own. But if you do want to join me, we do create the action box in my class that you do take home with you to eliminate the pile problems that people have. And then these are the benefits of step 3 in the system, where you gain clarity on your storage and that you leverage your uniqueness of your home, about how you storage, what you use to storage, so that especially those that move around a lot, that you're not completely losing a storage system because you've moved, that you have it portable, that you can move things no matter where it is that you are living. And then these here are the benefits to step 4, and step 4 is having clarity on your priorities. And so this is learning how to implement effective ways to build your day around your priorities. And part of it was talking about that happiness, health, and wealth that we talked about so that you can have more enjoyment in your life and in your day. And then the final step here is all the benefits are up here, and it's gaining clarity in your health and wellness, and having all of the balance of this so that you're organized in all the different aspects of your life. So I think, did everyone not get the handout or the sheet? Where you care? Oh, I think he went to run and get more. Okay, he'll be back in a few minutes, so sorry about the delay on that. So it's a great problem to have lots of people that we need to hand things out to. So the sheet here, let's see if I can give you some of this. So that's my clutter to calm transformation training that I have, and I apologize to those who don't have them quite yet, but he will get that to you. And like I said, my 5-step system helps you look at all the different areas that you can be organized in your life. And part of that training is learning how to keep, because there's like 9 different environments that we live around. We talk about that in the training, but there's, how like there's like one area of your life that maybe isn't working and it tends to affect all the other areas? So part of why that happens is not having a system and structure in place. And it's part of having that overall balance. So the more of the areas of our life that we can have the structure and the balance in place, then it can be very helpful for us. So let's see. Oh, you know what, I'm just gonna put this up here. So those of you who don't have it, I have it up here, and I can just review this with you. So at the training I have, we go through the 5 steps that I talked about, and then part of what you receive is a live event that I do, and it's in a non-judgmental environment. And so what's great about that is a lot of people tell me that the reason why they haven't gotten help in organization is that they've been embarrassed. It's like they can be extremely successful in certain parts of their life, but at their home, they're exhausted when they get home. And so to get to those projects or get to those piles or find a system for their paperwork can feel very overwhelming. And so one of the things that we look at is having that non-judgmental women supporting women environment. And it's a 5-hour workshop where we learn to create those systems, which includes the action box that I talked about, so that you can right now go home. Every time you get mail, every time you get a piece of paper, you know exactly where to put it and you know exactly how to get your hands on it, which can be really important. And then I also do a 30-minute private coaching with myself, because there's always certain things about your particular situation that may be a little bit different than anyone else, so that I can give you some techniques and strategies and things that apply to you personally. So that's kind of the tips and tricks part of it. So the total value of this, which is us getting together, the group, the 5 steps, and these is $700. And let's go here. I also have some bonuses in with this, and this is the 9 environments that I was talking about, so that you have all the different areas of your life balance that we talk about, and then also a tool that I use where you can stay organized for 15 minutes a day. And we talked a little bit about setting the timer. That's something, regardless of if you go to this training or not, I highly recommend that you do, is because that 15 minutes a day really makes a difference, especially if you have children and or roommates or spouses. Any of those, you set that timer, and even for yourself, that you just set that timer and just make a game of it. In fact, I even tell people to put music on too, and it's almost like, Simon says, or it's like, as soon as the music's off, then you're done. And so make a game of it, and just know that, as certain things get out of place, the more you can put just a little bit of time into it, it makes a really, really big difference. So, and then you also get the extra tip involved in my ebook. And so for those of you that didn't get the reader code, the papers that they're sending out has the reader code on there, so you can also get it on there, or you can go directly to my website and get my ebook for free and get those tips as well. So I want to get you as many things as I can possibly get in your hands here. So the bonuses and all of that value is $297. The total package of everything is $997. And the regular price that I give for my training, everyone out here in the trainings, is the $497. However, today only, I am doing the $397 for the conferences. Some of you came by my table, and I had written that on your sheet, because I believe we only have about maybe 9 or 10 places left. I'm not sure. I'm actually adding another date. But what I have in here now is the dates. The 2 dates I have is Saturday, April 18th, and Saturday, May 16th. And that will be here local. So if you are interested in that, you do have the sheets, and you can get the information and stuff on here. And let's see, what else here? Oh, and for anyone who does sign up today, I am doing an additional 30 minutes of coaching, so you would get an hour total. So that way, if you especially feel like, for whatever reason that you haven't started organizing any of your piles, and you've had projects that you've set out for years on end, that you can start having a system get in place, you can get that extra support. And I am only offering that for today and for the conference, because I do want to support women in their businesses and in their life to have more flow, because I know how much this can help people. And so I'm very much happy to do that for any of you. Is there anyone still, by show of hands, that needs a piece of paper and that did not get the information? Okay, he's got some here. Okay. Okay, got that. Okay. So, I'm also, afterwards, I'm going to be answering any questions as well that people have individually, but I also like to just answer a couple blanket questions that I get from people is that, but Diane, I'm too busy to go to training. Like, I just got so much going on and a Saturday, and I always tell people, I go, how much time have you wasted looking for something, and not have a system in place? And so if you know that you've wasted a lot of time in your life because you don't have a system in place, 5 hours is an amazing amount of investment of time to get those structures in place to support you. And the other question I usually get going, but Diane, I'd love to go to your training, but I don't have it in my budget. And so I also tell people that, that's one of the reasons I offer the conference special, so that I do make it very affordable. It shows on the sheet that not only can you do a one payment of the $397, but I also have a very easy 3-month for $149. So if that is an issue for you, we do offer that, and that could support you. And so one of the things I like to kind of leave you with is, how much is not being organized been costing you? What has been the time, the stress, and the headaches of just not being able to find what you're looking for, especially in a timely manner? Because a lot of people will say, like, well, I know where it's at. But if you say, can you get it right now? Some things, yes, possibly. But what happens is that when you actually need it, and you have like a few seconds to get it, and especially if you do any type of work where you talk to clients on the phone and you need that one piece of paper that you need to refer to, you need to be able to get yourself hands on key information when it's timely. Because regardless of the things that we have around us, it doesn't support you as a resource if you can't find it. So think about that. What do you have in your space that can support you, but you just can't find it? And regardless of whether you do this training with me or you take this information that you learned today and apply it, just start small. Start with your junk drawer. Just take everything out of that drawer and really look at what are you utilizing. If you find yourself saying, I might use that someday, and that someday hasn't been in 5, 10, 15 years, you probably can let it go. If it comes down to it and you find yourself doing that, and you're doing it quite a bit, then really catch yourself and get some support either from me, which I'd be happy to do, or a girlfriend or somebody where you can support each other. Because getting that help from someone else can have that perspective to help you a lot more. So what I'd like to leave you with is a quote from Benjamin Franklin, which was, there is a place for everything and everything in its place. And I just want to thank you for taking your time with me here this evening or this afternoon, and be organized. Thank you.